This is an orthokeratology case where the patient's getting some induced cylinder after wearing lenses, and if we look at the posterior topography, looks a little bit incomplete here, and the periphery looks a little bit loose. And one thing I would check to see is whether this lens just needs to be replaced. Sometimes that'll solve some of the problems if it's a couple years old. But if we bring up the lens that the patient is wearing now, we have a lens with a little bit less sag horizontally, a little bit more sag vertically. That was to help get rid of some potential rocking that might have been inducing some cylinder before. And it looks like it's still there. I'd also be curious to know whether the first lens change solved the problem, but then the problem has resurfaced later, in which case I would probably be led to believe that the patient just needs a lens replacement. If we do want to modify this lens, a couple things I would do is probably reduce the OZ and IC, just looking at how the posterior topography looks right now, and then probably realigning the periphery and balancing it out a little bit more versus horizontal versus vertical, and then increasing the center thickness just to make sure we're not getting any flexure or warp on the lens. I think the easiest way to do that would probably be through the configuration settings. And we can go down, especially for kids, I like to go all the way down to 5662 for OC and IZ. We'll keep the AC kind of high at about 5 microns because we do want the lens to bear down well in the periphery. And for thicknesses, I think you're at 29 peripheral, so I'd go maybe 27 central and 29. Same target lens power and the same diameter as you had. So here we have the new lens. It's the same diameter, but the OZ and IC are smaller. We still have a fair amount of central clearance just to ensure that we get good bearing. And I flipped these by accident. Periphery should be a little bit thicker than the center of the lens. And we can probably keep a very similar demand to before. So with this lens, I didn't introduce the asymmetry between the vertical and horizontal meridians, mainly because we're just bearing closer to the center of the cornea where I think there is more symmetry, and I don't think we need as much of a difference there. Although if you built it in, I don't think it would hurt either. But I think increasing the center thickness and decreasing OZ/IC should give us better looking treatment zones that are more spherical. If we look at this section of the treatment zone, it actually looks really good. It just kind of peters out as we head nasally. So those are my thoughts on this case, and I would just apply the same design changes to the left eye. So best of luck, and thanks for watching.